kind of led you into the path of wanting to kind of go to a larger institution that's with a like very long history, 50 years?
Yeah, it's a great question. And yeah, so my first 6 years of venture capital, really it's an apprenticeship business. And I went to USVP because I thought I could learn from a number of the partners that I got to interview with, and thought these were legends in their respective spaces, especially in semiconductors, which is what my background was. And so they had a couple of really legendary semiconductor investors, and I was all about I want to go learn, and then maybe I'll get a chance to invest. And so that was 6 years. I would say the first 1 to 2 years was like pure learning, shadowing these folks on boards, and then about 2 years in, I got to make my first investment in a company called Box, where I got to sit on the board for many years. And even though that's not a semiconductor company, I sort of took a liking towards more software-related businesses. And but the first few years was building up a career in venture capital, was learning, then investing in a few companies, seeing those become somewhat successful. By the time I left in 2011, they were looking good, but they weren't going public. Of the 5 investments I made, 2 ended up going public, and 1 was Yammer, which got acquired by Microsoft. So I saw soon after some of those results actually come in, which it takes a while, as you know, Kalsoom, like being a venture capitalist takes a long time to figure out if you're any good at this job. And but going back to 2011, this is right around the time when Steve Jobs has passed away, and there's like this notion of like, go do something foolish, carpe diem, right? And you're young, you kind of know what you're doing now, and you have a couple of friends who are in a similar place in life, similar aged, and have something to look at and say, hey, like, I think we can do this. And so we went and started a new fund, new firm, Social Capital, in 2011. And it was pretty incredible to build a new fund out of nothing. That
like
was
your own startup, basically, right?
Totally a journey of a lifetime, right? To go put put a firm on the landscape and go invest in some pretty cool companies and build something of your own. And but you're right, like there's this. And that was about a 6-year period of social capital. So 6 years, actually, I was 6 years at Xilinx, my first job out of college, 6 years at USVP, 6 years at social capital. But I think the notion of Kleiner Perkins, going back to my first few days on the job in 1997, was the opportunity to really remake Kleiner Perkins and provide a generational transition for this now 50-year-old firm, at the time 45-year-old firm, that needed to reinvent itself as well. Was too interesting an opportunity to pass up for me. And that really took a life of its own. And going back again, to my first days in Silicon Valley, it's like, whoa, like the opportunity to go do this at Kleiner Perkins, the firm that got me interested in venture capital, the people that I looked up to as the legendary investors in the whole industry. And for me to be able to go there and really help remake us as a firm as well.